what is up you guys, it is Annelies, and welcome back to a series that you probably didn't know existed on my channel. So I have always loved languages, and I have always found words really fascinating. Sometimes I catch myself daydreaming and just kind of going into a rabbit hole of why does this word mean that, and why is this word the way it is? So 2 years ago, that fascination of mine sparked an idea for a series called Odd Origins. I made the first episode called Odd Origins, and I talked about 4 different words: twerk, pickle, dubstep, and hashtag. And those were just some words that I had off the top of my noggin that I thought were really interesting and weird, and kind of curious as to why were they the word that they were. So then this idea sparked another idea of me saying to myself, why don't I continue? Why don't I do a little bit more research, dive a little bit deeper, and learn about some more words that I think are kind of interesting? So that's where I came up with the idea of continuing this series of Odd Origins, and this is episode 2. Now those first 4 words I chose were just random words that I had thought about, jot them down in my notes, and then later did the research for. But since I wanted to continue with this series and continue with this researching of words, etymology I think it is called, I had to come up with a starting place for what words I was going to choose. So I figured, why not start with the alphabet? The English American alphabet. So the first letter of the alphabet is A. It is my favorite letter of the alphabet because my name is Annelies, which starts with an A. It looks like a triangle. I love the letter A. And I've picked 4 words to start with. And that is going to be alphabet, Alcatraz, Amazon, and America. So I got to know these 4 words pretty well. We went out to coffee, had a little chit-chat session, got to know each other's stories, and if you want to know about these 4 guys, go ahead and keep on watching. So, like I said, starting with the beginning of the alphabet, why don't I start with the word alphabet? I thought it was only fitting. So the definition of an alphabet is a set of letters or symbols in a fixed order to represent the basic set of speech sounds in a language. The word came into Middle English from the late Latin word alphabetum, which in turn originated from the Greek alphabetos, coming from alpha and beta, the first 2 letters in the Greek alphabet. Now those 2 letters came from the first 2 letters of the Phoenician alphabet. The first being Alf, which also meant ox, and the second being Bet, which also meant house. The Phoenician alphabet is the oldest verified alphabet, derived from the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. So if you can read this, you can thank the Phoenicians. Now here's a little fun fact for you. Alif and Ba are the first 2 letters of the Arabic alphabet, and Alphet and Beit are the first 2 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. I think this origin is the simplest origin I have seen for any words I've researched. Just take the first 2 letters of the thing you're trying to name, and boom, there's your name. The history of the alphabet started in ancient Egypt. By 2700 BCE, the Egyptians had a set of 22 hieroglyphics to represent syllables. The word alphabet has transformed over time from late Middle English alphabet to late Latin alphabetum, which is an alteration of the Greek alphabetos. A little fun fact about me is in elementary school I actually designed my own alphabet and could write in it and everything. It was English, but all the characters look different, and I think that's something interesting when you look at different characters throughout the world. It's just little alterations, little changes, and then there's like sounds and syllables, but I was only a 5th grader, I didn't get that far. This rocky island in the San Francisco Bay was opened from 1934 to 1963 as a top security federal prison. And of course, I'm talking about none other than Alcatraz. As a native Californian who lives in the capital and was born in the Bay, I've been to Alcatraz many times and picked up little souvenirs like this. But every time I was there, of course I was wondering about the history of the rock, but I was also curious, why is it called Alcatraz? The name Alcatraz came from the name of the Spanish Alcatraz pelicans, which were once common there. The first Spaniard to discover the land was a guy named Juan Manuel de Ayala in 1775. Now, knowing how the San Francisco Bay and Alcatraz are currently set up, I am pretty curious as to why Juan Manuel chose to explore Alcatraz. Well, he explored the San Francisco Bay and he stumbled upon Alcatraz, which he originally named La Isla de los Alcatraces, which translates to the Island of the Pelicans. The archaic Spanish Alcatraz means pelican. The word was originally Arabic, where it was spelled al-Quatraz, which means sea eagle. Now, I can't exactly say that I think pelicans are as regal as eagles, but I can definitely say I know that rhymed. I'll excuse myself out. You don't have to do it. If you've ever ordered anything from Amazon, you probably recognize this packaging. And if you don't know what Amazon is, hello, welcome to the 21st century. My name is Annelies and I will be your guide. Amazon is a company that seemingly does like 9,000 things, but one of their biggest and best things is being an online store that sells everything. And I mean everything. Amazon is an online store that was founded by Jeff Bezos in the mid-90s. It was originally called Cadaver Inc., but after a lawyer overheard Bezos and thought he said cadaver, he quickly changed the name. Bezos also registered Relentless.com, but after chatting with some friends, they told him it sounded way too sinister. So he flipped through the pages of a dictionary, stumbled upon Amazon, and decided that was the one. Bezos liked Amazon because the definition said it was exotic and different, and that is exactly what the company has become. The Amazon River is the biggest river in the whole world, and Bezos wanted Amazon.com to be the biggest bookstore in the whole world, but clearly it has become so much more than just a bookstore, and if you don't believe me, you can tell that to my Amazon branded foam roller. The word Amazon goes back to late Latin or French, which is derived from the Greek word Amazon or Amazons, which means a race of female warriors in Scythia. It is also possible it comes from the Iranian compound a, which means without, and mazos, which is a variant of mastos, meaning breast. You've probably heard about Amazonian women in pop culture or in literature, and it was said that these women were tall, strong, large, fierce warriors, and with my nearly 6 foot tall stature, I have been often compared to one, which I take with much pride. The word comes from the tale that said the Amazonian warriors would either cut or burn off one of their breasts, so that way when they were pulling their bowstrings, it was more efficient. The Amazon River, which was originally called Rio Santa Maria de la Mar Dolce, got its new name after an encounter with one of those fierce warriors, and I can only assume it might have had something to do with their package not arriving on time. Martin Waldmuller coined the term America, after Americus Vespucius, which is the Latinized version of Amerigo Vespucci, the Italian explorer who mapped South America's east coast as well as the Caribbean Sea in the early 16th century. After sailing to the new land twice, Vespucci claimed to discover America. Of course, we now know that he did not, and neither did Columbus. There were prehistoric Native Americans who went over the ice bridge into the Bering Straits, or over the stepping stones of the Aleutian Islands. There are also Scandinavian records of exploring America in the 13th century. The Icelandic saga of Eric the Red tells the story of Eric's son Leif, who found the western land filled with wheat fields and vines. From this emerged a theory in the 1930s that the origin of America is Scandinavian. Amt meaning district combined with Eric made Amteric, land of Eric. Norsemen went to go explore this land that Leif had discovered, and the North Atlantic sailors called it Omerica, which is the Old Norse term for farthest out land. I also find it funny that the United States of America is the only country out of the Americas that gets to use the name America to represent their country. I don't know how that conversation worked out, but I guess we'd have to ask South America or Canada about that. And we've returned to square one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope it was entertaining or educational. What I love about this series is, first off, I find it really fascinating and interesting, and I love learning the history and the meaning behind these words. But secondly, these are great conversation topics. If you ever need to break the ice in a new crowd of people, you can throw in some fun facts about some words in there. I've used it. It works great. So feel free to take this information and put it in your back pocket, and the next time you're at a social event and you just don't know what to say in a conversation, you can drop in some word knowledge and then get the ball rolling from there, hopefully. I hope you guys enjoy this series and enjoyed this second episode of Odd Origins on the letter A. This is A in sign language, by the way, and the next episode is episode 3, letter B. And so if you have any suggestions for words that start with the letter B in the English language that you find are interesting or kooky, or you would just like to know a little bit more about, comment them down in the comment section down below. I have a list of words for every letter in the alphabet, but sometimes I need more. Sometimes I'm not inspired, and so I'd love to hear your suggestions. So thank you so much for watching episode 2 of Odd Origins. I really hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you are new, so that way the next time I post an Odd Origins episode or anything else on my channel, you will be the one to know about it. And if you hit that little bell icon, it will actually notify you straight to your YouTube notifications when I post my next video. All my social media links are down in the description as well as the link to my podcast and my Patreon, so feel free to check that out. Otherwise, that is it for me. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!